An intellectual property rights assault is very similar to a physical assault. The feelings, the emotions, the sense of being wronged, a variety of factors come into play associated with these things. And certainly, thankfully, through my time developing Noble Ape, I could count on one hand the number of times I've suffered some form of intellectual property rights assault. But I have felt this in recent times, and I think it's one of these very curious situations that I just wonder to myself, is this going to be something that is going to continue on for the rest of my life? Am I going to be doing these kind of things when I'm 60 or when I'm 80, if I get to 80? And these kind of thoughts run through my mind. At what stage does an idea no longer have consequence or importance? At what stage does one no longer have the energy to protect one's intellectual property rights? And I reflect on this very heavily because I don't think people read Bertrand Russell as much as they once did. I mean, certainly when I was in university, I read Bertrand Russell, but I think now fewer and fewer people would be reading Bertrand Russell because, you know, there are popular authors like Dawkins, and there's probably half a dozen other philosophy topics that one might read other than Bertrand Russell. And I question whether Bertrand Russell's ideas have died, whether they've just been polluted, whether they've been sublimated. But ultimately, as a living entity, I still have a means for my ideas to continue on, and continue on in a method that I choose to define. So when I suffer intellectual property rights assault, when I suffer some aggressive action to try and neutralize or dilute some of the things that I've put in so much time in order to create, I have all these emotions which are very similar to if I'd been robbed, or if I'd been beaten up, or if I'd had some other kind of negative thing happen to me, usually beyond my control. And I just need to learn to appreciate this emotion. I need to learn to, in some degree, move past it or find strategies beyond it. But I do reflect, what does my intellectual property rights mean in a world where I have to defend them, as I would have if I were 19, or if I were 25, or if I were at any other time where I've had to defend my intellectual property rights.